Here we are back at Stefans Book. And if I open the book up to my special bookmark here, it won't be any surprise that it's probably going to fall open to the aircraft. Alright. Try not to get a reflection going on here. Now, first of all, I read my comments from yesterday again, and there was at least two people thought that the bottom of the aircraft was not a pale green but a pale blue. And if I look at this particular drawing here, yes, it does look like a blue or maybe a gray even, or a blue-gray, very pale. But let's go to that one that we were talking about yesterday. I think it was the last illustration. Okay, so here we have it, and this is definitely a pale green. If you compare it to the, I'm looking at it right now, and I'm not colorblind. I know I was joking a little bit in the comments about being colorblind yesterday, but I'm not colorblind. This is definitely a pale green. However, pale blue makes a whole lot more sense, because when you're looking up into the sky, you'll often see pale blue, but how often do you see pale green? I don't think I ever have. Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I looked at a rainbow. Anyway, how often is this thing going to be flying in line with the rainbow so it'll blend in? And that's the whole idea. You want the plane to blend in with the sky so that it can't be seen from the ground. Yeah, and get shot at, right? Anyway, I don't need to beat that to death. However, where's my little plane here? All right. I don't know. In fact, I am very sure that if I try to spray this a pale blue, it's going to just make a mess. I'm not even going to attempt to do it. I don't know what Tony's planning to do with his, and undoubtedly it's going to be a lot more detailed than mine will be, but and that will be really good because it's the one we're planning to hang from the crane, and it's going to be, visible a lot better than the way these ones will. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble here. All right. Why is today sort of a milestone in this build? Well, I'm going to give you a hint. And you're going to pick it up right away. Why today is a milestone. This used to be our so-called banquet table. Whenever the family all got together and we needed extra room around the table, this went up the stairs, and we could seat about 12 people around it. Mind you, some of them were kids, so they didn't take up a whole lot of room. Anyway, I'm going to be using this for the tabletop, for the workstation, for the model workstation, or whatever you call it. And yeah. Now I've screwed a handle on here. I used to be able to just pick this up and carry it up the stairs. A lot of things it used to be. Wish I could turn the clock back to the last time I carried this upstairs. Yeah, family was all together. My wife hadn't been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and you know the story. I used to be able to squeeze through there a lot easier too. Something happened here. Okay, I made it. That's right. 1 year ago today, we started this build. 1 year has gone past. Now I know this is only episode 330 and there's 365 days in a year, and you're probably thinking, so if there's 365 days, why isn't there 365 episodes? Because I've done an episode as best I can remember every day. Well, way back around, I think it was episode 100, we took a break and we built a clock. I've put the dial board back in. And the reason being is I want this to be just a little bit more scrugal. In other words, what's going to be happening here is that when, I'll just open this up, when the drum, when the sander hits this top rail here, or sill, it's going to have a tendency to want to push it this way. So I thought if the dial board is in, it's just going to be, like I say, a little bit more scrugal. Okay, that's it now. That's perfectly flush there. Now this mark right here, it looks worse than it really is. There must be something on the sanding belt there, maybe some glue or something built up. No, not too tight, because this is really thin. So let's see if we can hear it now. I've got the volume turned all the way down as far as it will go. And that's the way it will sound the nicest. You don't want it so that you have to stop, you don't want it so that you have to stop talking when the thing goes off. Like my grandfather clock upstairs. Okay, here we go. So that's why we only have 330 episodes in this year. Anyway, enough about that. I think that this, isn't this the green that I used when I was practicing with the airbrush about 10 months ago or 11 months ago? I kind of think it is. If it is, we've already got a sample of what it looks like. I haven't really tried this yet. And I'm just wondering, if you remember, I was talking about removing the propeller, if I could get it, to come out. But I'm afraid that if I twist on it to try and, turn it out, I'll probably end up breaking off the one of the blades here, and that would be very hard to get back on straight. So I'm just kind of wondering what would happen if I was to try and just sort of pull it out somehow like this, but that doesn't want to go in there either. Maybe I could, where's my hobby knife? Let me just put on the macro lens and just see if I couldn't just, find where the spinner stops and the engine starts, and, where the natural brake is, and then I'd really like to get this prop out if I could. Now I want to be careful when I'm trying to hold on to it here that I'm not going to be pressing down on something that's going to end up breaking something else. But you can see right here at the tip of the blade, that's where I want to try and separate it. And looking at it closely right now, I would say that excuse me, that the see, that's the spot, but oops, I'm probably going to do more damage than good. Yeah, boy, that was so stupid. Okay, I've looked at it closely and I've thought about it for a few minutes, and I've come to the conclusion that because this aircraft is going to be the one that is sort of just sticking a little bit out of the hangar, and all we're going to see is the front part of it anyway, maybe people won't notice that the inside of the engine is not painted black. And as far as the spinner goes, I noticed that Trumpeter molded this with a spinner on it, but in Stefans' drawings, the propeller does not have a spinner. So that's interesting. You know, just for the fun of it, I'm going to see if I can't find some actual photographs of this plane and forget about what somebody who designs models thinks and somebody who does drawings thinks. Just see actual photographs and see, just for the fun of it, is there a spinner or isn't there? As it turns out, both ways are correct. Here's a couple of pictures that show with the spinner in place, and here's an old movie clip that shows no spinner at all. Well, here we are. It's almost 2:15 and nothing done. I was going to do a sample of this, but I don't think I'll waste it because there's not very much in there. I looked in the jar and it's less than half full. If you remember, we painted this piece here, and also the entire hull of the mule that Tony had sent us about 11 months ago now, when I was practicing with the airbrush. So there's no use wasting any more of this. There's definitely enough to do the 3 aircraft, I know that. At least I think there is, unless I go and spill it. Now, speaking of Tony, this is the painting guide that came with a Bismarck kit. And Tony's going to need the where the markings go on the aircraft, and also the decals that I forgot to send along. So what I'm going to do is, at first I thought I could cut this out and mail it to him, but then I thought, well, kind of want to have this to hang on the wall later as one of the pictures. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip on the macro lens and I'm going to take some nice close sharp pictures that are going to depict the color and everything, and then tomorrow I'm going to mail him the decals. Yeah. In the meantime, I think I'm going to have to say here, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.